important. Presenting her as an authentic, genuine person creates the impression that these videos are expressing a form of genuine politics. In the video, "We're Back, Baby," Brett Cooper celebrates various conservative wins within the culture. In this instance, frat boys protecting American flags and diversity, equity, and inclusion programs being scaled back.
Now, in the same vein, which is just so epic, we are seeing even more change and resistance across the country, specifically from these frat boys.
Other wins include Target not having a pride display this year, and lots of news on social media posts. As Gen Z faces climate change, inflation, and a housing crisis, the conservative vision of winning means getting some dunks on social media. It's hard to imagine someone falling for this, but looking at the numbers, some people clearly do. Here's one comment. "I'm in high school in Tien, and I got a lot of hope when some random kids started handing out American flags to people in the hallway." What Brett Cooper is presenting here is a counterfeit for having real politics, which is what this comment so perfectly illustrates. I hate to break it to anyone who loves flags, but they're fabric and don't have any intrinsic value. They're symbols, and they don't always mean the same things to different people. And the emphasis on the flag reflects a type of politics that ignores the material realities people live with and emphasizes instead symbols that make them feel good but may not necessarily reflect the reality in which we all share. This comment, I suspect, is alluding to the frat boy story I mentioned a little bit earlier. As a bit of a quick recap, the story of the frat boys at UNC Chapel Hill who surrounded the American flag isn't the brave act of courage.
Dude, this was so funny. Like, God, the conservative movement is so weak and feeble in many respects that this was it for so many people. They were like, hell yeah, dude. They're so fucking, God, these frat boys, man, they're doing the dang thing. How dare our flag touch the ground, brother?
That Brett Cooper presented it as. Rather, it's them standing as a bulwark against a valid form of protest. Early in the day, pro-Palestinian...
Yeah, meanwhile, they literally were also holding up Israeli flags, but I guess that was not factored into the equation at all.
Demonstrators had taken down the American flag and replaced it with a Palestinian one to protest their university's financial ties to Israel in light of the violence in Gaza. When the Palestinian flag was taken down by the police and replaced by the American one, the demonstrators tried to put it back, only to be met by the frat boys who formed a barrier around the flagpole. The frat boys were effectively...
Yeah, Bill Ackman helped raise $500,000 for those guys. They're a rager. They're just such lame asses in general.
Silencing a form of protest, which is an important part of free expression, all to defend a symbol of that expression. In this case, a symbol of freedom becomes more important than the actual freedom, and is then celebrated because it supports a particular type of right-wing politics. And so these boys became heroes who are given $500,000 to have a wild party, not because of them engaging in some kind of brave political action, but because they served as useful props to demonize a group of protesters the right would like silenced. Here's a comment from one of the frat boys named Alex Jones, not to be confused with the conspiracy theory radio host. It's just a coincidence that they have the same name. For me, protecting the flag was not about taking a stance within the ongoing Israel-Palestine discourse. I recognize the pain and suffering experienced by both sides of that conflict, but my decision yesterday to protect the flag of the United States was not about any other nation. It was simply about the importance of our country and the values we believe in. Not every frat boy had such a hollow reason, though, and I will give more credit to the frat boys who only joined in because they wanted to support Israel, because that's a lot closer to a genuine expression of political activism, although in this case their activism is support for an ongoing genocide. But to the other frat boys who were talking about laying their lives down for a flag and what it represents, they are silencing a demonstration for a literal symbol of allowing that protest to happen. This is what I mean by counterfeit politics that Brett Cooper is endorsing, where symbolic gestures matter more than material actions, at least when the symbolism is conservative. And it's a shame that she's been so successful in reaching young people with the message that saluting the flag matters more than upholding the ideals it supposedly represents. This isn't to say everyone is falling for this. Other creators on YouTube, including Gabby Bell, have great videos looking at Brett Cooper's work that reveals
she looks exactly like Ben Shapiro. I think
True.
she looks more like Ben Shapiro than Ben Shapiro's sister looks like Ben Shapiro.
Brett Cooper's videos
True.
have this highly produced vibe that attempts to camouflage her in this React space. but she hopelessly gives away the game with its boomer-esque splicing of movie and
Why is protecting the flag a bad thing? I highly doubt even supported Israel. They're just being American college kids. First of all, there were literally kids right there that were holding up the Israeli flag next to the American flag. That's number one. And number two, you're not first of all, fuck the flag. I thought this was America, goddammit. You can shit on the flag if you want to. You can wipe your fucking ass with the American flag, okay? It's our God-given, constitutionally protected right, okay? So you are actually un-American for being like, oh, brother, I have to defend the flag. That's number one. Number two, did you just miss the entire segment that this dude carefully went through in what the flag protection was being done to represent, to demonstrate? It was anti-Palestinian demonstrations. That was the whole point. It was a aesthetically vague gesture towards American dominance in a situation where America's participating in a fucking genocide. Okay? So that's the second thing. In any case, a lot of people who are otherwise, kind-hearted and empathetic individuals such as yourself will fall for symbolic gestures of this kind because it is a given. Of course you're going to protect the flag. What do you mean? This is America, damn it. I love America. I love the American flag. It's the greatest country on the planet. These are the things that you're conditioned into believing, okay? So, therefore, you immediately get duped into this idea, into the story about these beautiful frat boys protecting America. Thank God. Thank God they did that. Yeah, we put the flag on our underwear next to our nuts here in America. So they were going to take down the American flag just to put up a different flag? Yes, they did take down the American flag to put up a Palestinian flag as a symbol of Palestinian emancipation, to say, we are here, to say this college campus is in support of Palestine and the Palestinians who are victim to America's participation in the ongoing ethnic cleansing campaign. Now, having said that, however, of course, that ended up in this demonstration that you are defending currently, where people went in and said, fuck no, this isn't America. I mean, this ain't Palestine, brother. We fucking do genocide and we defend that genocide. And we will fucking ride the Israeli flag alongside the American flag. Hell yeah, baby. That's what they did. Do you understand? Why can't they show other flags out by areas they're protesting? Why even bother to take the flag law? Oh my God. Oh, this is precisely the reason why ever win in this conversation functionally with people who are just like demonstrating their inability to understand. Are you empathetic to the cause? Do you care about Palestinians? Do you think that, let me ask you a question, Moldy Hands, you have to answer quickly, okay? This ain't about the flag at all. This is just a serious question. Do you think that Israel is carrying out a genocide against Palestinians? Yes or no? Just a very easy yes or no question. If you don't answer and then answer and ask a different question in an effort to deflect away from the main point of contention here, I'm going to have to give you at least some time off. Okay.
TV clips. Some of these cutaways are references that are so old, I can't imagine she has the faintest clue what they are.
Benny Blanco is not a quad six, and he has Selena Gomez wrapped around his pinky finger.
Maybe there's hope for you yet.
That was a cutaway to The Dukes of Hazzard, a show that ran from 1979 to 1985, ending 16 years before Brett Cooper was even born. This sort of reference is fitting in that Brett Cooper's commentary often sounds like it's coming out of your grandpa's mouth, but I suspect any youths who recognize the Duke boy.
Yes, I do. War is hell. Both sides commit heinous things against each other. I don't agree with either side, to be honest. So you do believe that Israel is doing an ethnic cleansing campaign, but you also think that Palestinians are also doing heinous, which I suspect you meant heinous things to the Israelis. Is that what you're going to say? and that you don't agree with either side. So you're saying that, yes, Israel is carrying out an ethnic cleansing campaign, but also you don't really agree with the Palestinians who are victim to said ethnic cleansing campaign. As in like they should be what? Sitting down and taking it or something? Like what should they be doing? What should the Palestinians be doing? Just eating the bombs? Like, I don't understand. Investigate within. You just said it's a flag. Why bother holding it up? Then contradicted yourself by supporting the act of Palestinians doing the same crap. No, those aren't Palestinians doing the same crap. Those are American students in an act of protest putting up the Palestinian flag on an American campus to say these are the victims of genocide. Okay? There's a difference between being like, hell yeah, brother, I love America. As an American, I think it is the right of Americans to say, yeah, fuck this shit. I think it's the right of people to also burn the Palestinian flag if they choose to do so, but that doesn't mean I'm going to agree with it, because I understand the symbolism behind these acts. I understand the ideology behind these acts. The ideology behind these acts that motivate the person burning a Palestinian flag is to say the ongoing ethnic cleansing campaign directed at the Palestinian population is good, and fuck the Palestinians. Burning the American flag for any number of different reasons oftentimes can mean America's genocidal actions all around the world are unjustifiable. This is why I would agree with one form of protest over the other form of protest. This might be really hard for you to understand because many of you guys have this like very weird centrist position on issues, and you think that like an action is what matters. It doesn't matter what the direction of this action is. It does not matter what the intent behind certain actions are. I'll give you a better example, okay? You might say, I'm against violence. That's an understandable position that many people have. However, what kind of violence and who's doing it is important. For example, if I, a 6'4", 230-pound person, was brutally beating the shit out of you, someone who, let's say, is 100 pounds for the sake of this argument, okay, for no particular reason other than the fact that I just want to fucking brutally beat the shit out of you, that would be pretty unconscionable and pretty bad. However, that's just the act of throwing a punch in that situation. That's wrong. But beyond that, it's who's doing it and why they're doing it that makes it worse. Now, having said that, if I, the very same person, was throwing a punch against someone who was like, I don't know, trying to steal my dog or trying to hurt my family, you would find that act of violence not to be unconscionable, but perfectly well within the boundaries of what is just behavior. This is because people have the capacity to understand complex thoughts. I hope you are also capable of that. I hope you can also personally understand this. You know, sometimes an act, even if it's the same exact act, right, within different contexts, can be totally appropriate and just. There's a difference in the simplest terms. There's a difference between good things and bad things. Okay? To simply say, no, violence bad, you mustn't defend yourself would be silly, I think. Hopefully this was enlightening for you, chatter, and now you understand it a little bit better.
Boys are probably only understanding that because their dad or grandpa sat them down and made them watch a couple of episodes. Another way these videos feel very artificial is when we get to the ad reads. Brett Cooper slides into them seamlessly.
We are all sharing the same problems and grievances. We are all fighting this mind virus together. And if you're fighting your own virus, you might need Jace Medical.
This is very goofy and completely unnatural, and these ad reads take up so much time in each video. The example I showed you ran for a minute in a video that was only 7 minutes and 21 seconds long. That's close to 14% of the video's runtime devoted to an ad. Other videos aren't quite so bad, but still give up a lot of runtime to advertise these products, often close to 10% of a video. These kinds of ads are pretty common on YouTube, so Brett Cooper participating in them isn't that strange, but coming from such a big business production, they hit differently. This isn't Brett Cooper who has taken up video blogging as a personal project, who's found a way to make...
People are ridiculous, okay? The top of the hour ad break takes up 3 minutes out of the 60 minutes in an hour, okay? 3 whole minutes. That's it. That's all you fucking see. That's not 10%. Okay? 3 minutes. And not only that, but you can also avoid the ads at the top of the hour by subscribing. Okay? For $5, and it's slated to be $6 come July, or for free with a Twitch Prime. Decoy 1666, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Here's the 3-minute ad break now.
make some extra money. She's someone who is hired to fill a role, and part of that job includes reading ads. She's using the guise of an amateur when she's actually a professional. And usually the appeal of these ads is that they come from an amateur who is following a passion project and is therefore considered more trustworthy rather than some kind of celebrity who's just getting a paycheck to endorse a product they may or may not believe in. There's a line on the Daily Wire About page that reads, "We're building the future you want to see." And when they speak to their audience, they often use grandiose terms about how they're going to change the culture and take it back from the left. You'll also hear folks from the Daily Wire make reference to Andrew Breitbart's famous saying that politics is downstream from culture. It's important to remember that the Daily Wire is presenting itself as a political project, spreading conservative values. One of the major differences between the Daily Wire and other conservative advocacy groups is that the Daily Wire is run as a for-profit business. As such, it's far more aggressive with its advertising and other monetization practices, and its conservative branding is often a means for making a quick profit. Some examples are the anti-woke chocolate bars and razors of dubious quality. They're sold to people as if buying a chocolate bar is somehow political activism. It's very similar to the counterfeit politics we saw Brett Cooper pushing in her videos, cynically telling people they can buy their way to a better world, or that the best way to celebrate free speech is to honor a flag, then respect the voices of protesters. In the article, Constructing Authenticity, Social Media Influencers and the Shaping of Online Identity by Maureen Eben and Elizabeth.
Yeah, all the anti-woke products that they sell are so funny because it's the same ass cheeks bottom of the barrel product, but with just like conservative branding slapped onto it. I don't think that that is like even remotely profitable as a business. I think they were just like kind of testing it. There ain't no fucking way there's enough dumbasses who would be like, hell yeah, brother, I'd rather get fucking not gay Hershey's instead of just gay ass Hershey's, you know, especially when the price points are the way they are. Yeah. It's like Pink Tax, but for dumbasses. Exactly. Except the problem with Pink Tax is that if all the companies that sell feminine products are all applying that pink tax, and there is no alternative to certain products like tampons or whatever, then you're kind of cooked. You know what I mean? You just have to pay more for the same shit because there's no alternative. That's the issue. Whereas this is even dumber than the pink tax. This just straight up is a dumbass tax where it's like, hell yeah, brother, I'm paying more because I want my chocolate bars to be anti-gay. Consumer activism is a perfectly understandable direction that conservatives will move in because that's all they give a shit about. That's all they chirp about. In a world where Joseph, Robin, and Brandon, thank you for the 5 community give the subs. In a world where conservatives get pretty much everything they want, obviously there's like only one area where they aren't able to demonstrate their desires or forcibly push their desires upon the broader population. It's culture, it's consumer products and things of that nature. So then they just constantly chirp about that too, because the project demands that you forcibly enjoy conservative culture. Okay? Even if personally there isn't anything there that you are interested in, you must enjoy it. You must it's not just about like, oh, these are my beliefs, okay, and I don't care if you don't agree with them. It's these are my beliefs and you must agree with them, which is ironic because it's a case of pure projection from conservatives that fucking yell at the classic archetype of SJW, social justice warrior. Oh, they don't just want liberties for gay people. They want us to be gay. They won't shut the fuck up until I'm gay. You know, it's not the case at all. It's exactly the opposite, as a matter of fact. Social justice warriors and leftists in general are oftentimes advocating for liberties for marginalized people. And conservatives have been able to perfectly package a counter to that as basically a means of turning them gay somehow. The gay agenda.
With Bull, the authors describe the complementary strategies of transparent authenticity and passionate authenticity. This is pairing advertisements that are transparent and presented with regular media that include an authentic persona. They write in their article, when used in tandem, the two strategies balance the tensions between the influencer's persona as a seller and the influencer's persona as human, relatable, and authentic. Viewed through this lens, Brett Cooper's success makes some sense. Although she is stylistically inauthentic, her personality seems to be informed, at least in part, by what she actually feels. It's not so much she's a fraud, but rather a willing participant in a business strategy that is using the constructed influencer persona and conservative branding to turn a profit. While I was researching this video, I noticed something interesting. When I typed authenticity into the search bar on YouTube, I got a lot of psychology videos on how people can become their authentic selves. When I did the same thing at my local library, I instead got a bunch of books on marketing. It reflected the strange impact the word authenticity has had on our modern day, and how a personal journey for authenticity is used by companies to make money. In the book, Authenticity, Building a Brand in an Insincere Age by Mark Toft, Jay Sunny, and Rich Taylor, one line leapt out at me. We want to attract people who need and respond to the truth and purpose of our company and our products and services. The evolution of that sentence to associate truth and purpose with products and services through the medium of our company is really wild to me. The purpose of any company, at the end of the day, is to make money. This exercise in branding is about associating intangible qualities to these products and services to increase their values in the mind of a consumer. I probably don't need to tell many of you that a shoe company pledging to fight racism isn't doing that to be altruistic, and that it's a means to add value into the minds of potential customers and translate to more sales in the future. But it's worth repeating that fact because it works, or at least companies believe it works. It's presented as authenticity, but like the brief mention of Target earlier, and it's...
This doesn't mean that like diversity and representation, especially in culture and media, is a bad thing across the board. Especially when done right, it can be very positive. It's good to see yourself on screen. That's why I talk about, you know, Luka Doncic or Doncic, however you fucking say his last name, or the Joker, okay, Jokic. Seeing a fat, schlubby white guy who's like significantly more out of shape than all of the other dudes on that court is going to Doncic. Okay, I'm an Ottoman son, okay? Obviously, it is in my fucking epigenetic memories to not be able to say a Slovenian last name or a Serbian last name correctly, okay, for obvious historic reasons. My point is, wait, Doncic is not fat? I mean, they are schlubbier than the average athlete. My point is, I jokingly brought that up, but the reality of the matter is, like, seeing yourself represented on screen, especially if done in a decent way, if done in an authentic way, is good. It can be a positive thing. It can lead to people dreaming that they can also achieve these positions. This is not overall a bad thing, okay? It's a nice thing. The problem with liberalism is that it's the only thing. And as a matter of fact, it's not only the only thing, but it's also the only thing worth fighting for, while simultaneously the very same corporation could literally be applying business practices that are harming those very